6.
Sure.
Okay. All right. All right, welcome everyone. I'm Megan from AbelCine, and here with me right now is Snehal Patel from Zeiss.
Hi, how are you,
Hi,
Megan?
Snehal, how are you? I'm great. How are you doing?
Great. It's been a really busy show, but it's been fun. A lot of cool things going on.
Nice. I feel like we are doing a comedy show right now.
Oh, we totally are.
All right, but before
What's
we do
the next bit?
before we do that, we wanted to go over all of the amazing different lines of the Zeiss glass. Right, there's a lot of different lines we could talk about.
Sure.
The first one we have on display here is the Super Speed 50 millimeter CP2 lens.
That's right.
It's been out for a while, but it's one of the fastest lenses in that line, right?
Yes, and you know what? People talk about the T15. So what happened is in the normal line of the CP2 lenses, the 35, 50, and 85 were at a T2.1. Okay, they did that because it's a nice sharp lens. It's very clean, you know, at a 2.1. What happens with the optics is as you open up the iris, some weird things might happen, and you get some aberrations. You get a little distorted maybe, and a little decontrasting. So they locked it at 2.1. They realized though later on that wait a minute, people are actually asking for that look. They don't want perfect lenses. You know, there's a Zeiss look that people say, which is really like clean, and some DPs are like very few of them, but some of them say, that's a little clinical for me.
Yeah.
And they don't like that. They want what they see from the super speeds, you know, from back in the day.
That's true with the high resolution digital cameras too, right?
Exactly, the high
res. They want to soften it.
Because the sensors are so clean now that people really want to dirty it up, and they always add filtration. I mean, I don't know any TV show or movie set that I've gone to where the cinematographer hasn't used filtration of some sort. So they're really on the market to look for lenses that do that. Now the beautiful thing is, on this lens, if you put it at a T2.1, it's going to give you the kind of the sharper look that you're used to. But then you start opening up from T2.1 to 1.5 in between that range, and all of a sudden, you have to compensate for that, like maybe put an ND filter in, right? Because the lighting condition is going to change. But you're going to get that soft, pretty look that you're looking for from a lens that costs less than $5,000. I mean, that is kind of amazing, because if you went on the market to try to get a classic super speed from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, I mean, you're talking about maybe $50,000 to $65,000 for a 5-lens set, which you might have to recondition for another 10 to 15 grand just to make sure that the housings are correct and you can put a follow focus on it. This is a modern housing built with a warranty, 2-year warranty, and you're getting that look that you're reminiscent of, in a very, very small package.
Right.
And a standard 114 size diameter.
And all of them are EF or PL, user changeable.
Exactly. Right? So the best part about the CP2 line is there's 2 really, really key points that we like to talk about. One, full frame coverage. What does that mean? It can cover like a VistaVision size sensor, like a 5D size sensor. That bodes really well for in the day and age, like when cameras like this, like the Dragon, all of a sudden, they're expanding, or the Weapon, they're expanding their image recording size by having larger and larger sensors. And you need to have the coverage to be able to cover for those sensors.
Right.
And we already have it out of the box. We've already planned for it from years ago, looking ahead, knowing that this was coming. So we already have that in this system. The second good thing is, just like you mentioned, the interchangeable mounts. Right now, currently, we have this lens in a PL mount, for example, but we could take this PL mount off in a matter of minutes and change it to EF mount, change it to Micro Four Thirds, Nikon mount, and E mount for Sony.
Right.
All those are available. And another thing that you don't find in this price point, and which is really key, it is shimmable. So you could actually shim the lens. Because let's say you put it on this Dragon with a PL mount and its back focus is perfect, all your marks are falling in perfectly, but all of a sudden the next day you have a job with the C300 and the EF mount, not so nice, and all of a sudden you're getting back focus issues, and when you go to 4 feet, it's actually 4 foot 1 inch. So what do? You could actually shim it. Doesn't matter if you have an EF mount or PL or whatever mount you put on there, you could actually shim the lens.
Right. It makes it really great for cinema use as well as other production use as well, right?
Absolutely.
Really versatile.
Very versatile. The cost effective, the performance to price ratio really puts it in the category, like you said, used for a variety of uses, short films, documentary style, all kinds of, it's on reality shows, it's on drones a lot. But at the high end, it's being used a lot on the Alexa Mini. It's being used on the Red camera. It's being used on now the Panasonic LT because it has the EF mount. So you're seeing it used in very, very high-end professional applications as well as the mid-range as well. So it's a good spread with the exact same lens.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, let's move on to our next line of lenses here. So let's check out the Zeiss compact zooms. Right. There's 3 different lenses in this line, 3 different zoom ranges. So
Yeah, so this one is the 70 to 200, and we have 3 lenses in this line: 15 to 30, 28 to 80, and 70 to 200. So you're completely covered from 15 to 700, or sorry, 15 to 200. And it is also full frame, and it also has interchangeable mounts. So this is the exact same situation where you could take this lens and put any kind of mount system that you want on it. It has a standard lens support, for putting lens support on it. You could use lightweight rods or a studio rod system with this lens. It's great because if you want to keep it nice and svelte, keep it small, you really couldn't just use 15 mil lightweights, put a little 15 mil lightweight support on it,
Right.
clip on matte box or 15 millimeter lightweight matte box, and you're good to go.
Handheld or studio. Yeah.
Studio, whatever you want to do. Or if you want to go all out, put a bigger matte box, bigger filtration, you can go 19 mil or 15 mil studio with it as well. So it's a really versatile in that sense. People are using this lens for a variety of reasons. Sports, documentary, but more and more increasingly television shows, dramatic television shows, and feature films. We've actually had a number of feature films. We did support Christian Sebald with a feature film that he did recently. We have a show reel running in our booth where he filmed a horror film in less than 10 days. And so he had to move fast. And I mean, this is an ASC cinematographer that does big television shows like CSI,
Right.
okay? So he knows his stuff. And he was able to use these 3 lenses, the 15 to 30, 28 to 80, 70 to 200, and then a couple of primes, a 15 and 18, and that's it. That was his whole kit. And he had to get the whole film done in 10 days. So he was running around really fast and resetting. And when they set up a new setup, they had to just reconfigure quickly. He's able to do it. We also used this recently in another show reel video with Pete Romano underwater. So we shot with these on an Alexa underwater as well. And they held up perfectly, beautiful image. The nice thing about, the reason why we want to talk about the underwater thing is that they have a limitation. They have to have a really good close focus distance.
Right, I was gonna
because
ask
you know
you
the
that.
underwater housing, you know how it works. You're actually
Right.
focusing on the dome, not
Right.
the actual object that's on the outside.
Right.
And that focus is really critical. This worked perfect with the Preston system underwater, not an issue, and the close focus distance is really good on both the 15 to 30 and the 28 to 80. So
Nice.
we were able to use both lenses underwater, which
Nice.
was really nice.
Yeah.
So we definitely have that going. It's been on television shows like The Fosters with Case Van Ostrom. It's been on a feature film and television show in Canada, and a couple more shows in LA and in Texas. So this is the recent stuff. The lenses have been around for a few years now. 70-200 came out a while ago. The 15 to 30 came out last year. So you already have in a lot of rental houses, and there's
Right.
lots of shows where it's being used along with, believe it or not just our prime lenses, but other prime lenses. Because this lens was actually developed from the ground up to be a cinema lens. So it matches well with the ultra primes in our cinema lens line through ARRI.
That's nice.
So that's a good, and you know what, don't take my word for it. Abel did a blog about it, so there's actually a blog entry where they compare the ultra prime lens at the same focal distance as the zoom lens, and they found that they're very comparable to one another.
And
So
that's
this is
great if
good.
you're working for run and gun, then you need to do the prime shots as well. You can mix
Right.
multiple different.
Or
focal
if you
lengths.
had a look in mind, you're like, look, I want a Leica lens or a Cook or something like that, and that was what you wanted for your primes. This is a good zoom that can mix in with any of these lenses.
That's
so
great.
you know how it is in a rental house, right? You need to have choices.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
these are artists. We're providing paintbrushes. We're hoping they use our paintbrush.
Right.
But the best thing
That's
that
a
we
good
can do
point.
is make that paintbrush as fine and as beautiful as possible to encourage them to use it. And that's what we try to do. And we don't try to limit them. We don't say it has to be used, our primes, our zooms. No, use any way you want, any combination you desire, but we just want to have the glass for you.
Nice. All available now, right?
All
for
available
shipping.
now. You could order it and shipping, so you can get it right away.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let's move on to our last line of lenses. So next we have the Otis lenses. So this is the premium line of the premium SLR lens line. Right. So we have an 85 mil with us right now. They also have a
55 and a 28.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the
And they're all
concept
1.4,
behind-
by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
1.4.
Yeah.
So very
the concept, yes, absolutely, very fast. And the great thing is, this is a ground up, brand new optics. This was an uncompromised approach to creating a medium format look in an SLR lens. So this is for Nikon and Canon mount, of course EF and F mount. And what we did was we made it an expensive piece of glass. So this is between $4,500 and $6,000 per length. So it's definitely more expensive than, let's say, the Milvis line, which is a one step down.
Right.
And that's like a, around $2,000 lens. So this is all metal construction, amazing optics, like really big front and rear elements. And what I've done here is actually put on our new, this is brand new actually at NAB this year, we have this gear system. So we have lens gears. And this is the large one. We have 4 different sizes for all of our lens lines. So, in all our manual focus lenses, we have hard stops.
Right.
So that's the big difference. If you're using an autofocus lens, it's continuously spinning. And we only make manual lenses for Canon and Nikon. So this has a hard stop. And we also make a manual lens for a Sony E-mount called the Loxia line. And by the way, these are all named after birds. So Otis is an owl, I think Loxia is a finch, I believe.
Okay,
and Milvis
nice.
is a raptor. So they're all,
Easy
well,
to
Latin
remember.
bird names can't be copywritten. So, if you're going to come up with a new line
There
of
you go.
lenses, look at the Latin bird names. And also, we have a birding history because of our sports optics. We make binoculars and spotting scopes and stuff like that for
Oh,
birding.
nice.
So there's a tie-in with that.
Yeah.
So,
One thing I like too before we move on to the gear with the manual focus is it's really smooth for your
Yes.
hand. So if you want to do a smooth focus pull, it's really easily done. I like that about it.
Actually, the kind of movement they have in here is reminiscent of our cinema lens line in terms of the movement of the focus. And on the Nikon, you also have a declickable, or not declickable, but an iris that's manual as well that you can
Okay,
set.
great.
So that's for the Nikon. Of course, the EF mount, because it's purpose built for a Canon camera, it has electronic iris, and that you can iris it in any modern camera system,
Through the
including Alexa Mini, the Red camera, the Panasonic LT, or even any Canon camera, you can iris within the camera itself. Yeah.
But then
So-
also with your new gear system, if you want to use Preston or any type of
Yes,
wireless or file
yes.
focus or a studio
This
file
is
focus.
a metal, so I'm going to tap it here. There you go. This is a metal gear system, okay? And it actually tightens onto the lens and it retains its shape. This is a hard thing to do. This was a difficult thing when DSLRs first came around to be able to adapt it to a follow focus system. But now I think we have a really good solution. So this is an OEM product. It's manufactured in Germany, and we sell it for a reasonable price of around $200 approximately. But of course, you can buy it in a set, and you could buy it with lenses. So if you buy like a Milvis set of lenses, of 6 lenses, you can get 6 gears, and you save a lot of money. And then what you do is you saw what I did. I slipped it on, and then I twist it until it's tight, and then look at that. And now I have a nice smooth point pitch follow focus gear that I could use with both mechanical and electronic follow focus systems. We have tested this with electronic follow focus systems, including Aries system, C Motion, and Preston, and it works just fine. And we've actually in our booth having it with the Red Rock Scout with the electronic system as well, so you can check it out.
And what I
But you
like
can use
about-
it.
I'm sorry, there's no tool required.
Oh yeah, toolless. And
So
check it
for
out. So you can
on-set-
spin it around a little bit, and you can see no magic. It wasn't me. It wasn't my hands.
I
It's
just
actually
really
the
like
real
that there's
deal.
no tool required. So on set or quickly in a rental shop or
Yes.
at your home if you want to switch to a cinema use
Right.
or a still use.
Because we really have a crossover situation going on, Megan. We have these people that have both the photography and they're stepping in between the photography and video world, and we're saying to them that, look, okay, you don't have to buy all new equipment. Let's take the equipment and the kind of abilities you have right now out of the box, and let's enhance them with a really, really low cost price point and give you what you need. So if you're thinking about like, well, look, I'm a fashion guy or a fashion girl, and I use a lot of like Zeiss glass, but I want to start doing video to add on to that portfolio. Well, guess what? We don't want you to buy all new equipment. Use equipment you already have. We're going to incentivize it for you and help you to get there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's a beautiful lens.
Cool.
All of them are. Thank you, Snehal, so much for joining us.
Thank you,
and
Megan,
stay
for
tuned
having
for
me.
more and check out more at the Zeiss booth as well.
Thank you.